This is Theremin 30. 30 minutes of Theremin music, news, events, and interviews with a new episode about every 30 days. Now, here's your host from Denver, Colorado, USA, Rick Reid.
Hey, welcome to the March 2024 episode of the Theremin 30 podcast. I'm your host, Rick Reid, and I haven't had an episode for a while. Among other things, I got COVID again, but I'm feeling much better now. Coming up in this episode, I've got music from France, Spain, Japan, and Mexico, and I'll visit with Ernesto Mendoza about his new album. Let's start the show now with a couple of European thereminists. First, it's a recent track from Charlotte Dubois with a special guest, and then something brand new from Javier Diaz-Ena under a different artist name. I'll give you the details about both recordings on the other side. We started the show with a song called Boucle La by thereminist Charlotte Dubois and beatbox artist Black Adopo. Translated from French, the song is appropriately titled Loop It. The duo released a very cool music video for this song in November of last year. Be sure to check it out on the Theremin 30 YouTube playlist. I followed that with a track called Lianas de Cuchilla, which roughly translates as Blade Vines. It's a brand new single release from Tremor Nocta, a music project of Javier Diaz-Ena. As you heard for yourself, it's a darker, more intense electronic sound compared to the lounge and exotica music he's done in recent years. The full Tremor Nocta album will be available on CD starting March 6th. After the break, I'll take a look at the Theremin 30 calendar and play an exclusive new single edit from Yoko Onishi, so stay tuned. It's time now for the Theremin 30 calendar of Theremin events. On March 2nd, my interview guest, Ernesto Mendoza, has a concert in Mexico City. Clara Rockmore's birthday is March 9th, so play a favorite Theremin tune in her honor. On March 10th, Arturo Fernandez will be performing in Boston, Massachusetts, USA. There are also performances coming soon from Pamela Stickney, Paulo Pascual, Torvald Jorgensen, and Human Toys. So check out the full calendar for details at theremin30.com. Also, I do want to mention one news item before we move on. I got a newsletter from Kip Rosser about the Juliet Shaw Legacy Project. He says that the archiving part of the project has been completed, and now they're looking for a museum or university or other institution to host the archive. In the meantime, the website's been updated, and it may not be around for long depending on where the archive ends up. So if you haven't visited the Juliet Shaw Legacy Project website recently, be sure to do that soon. I'll have a link in this month's show notes. A couple of years ago, Yoko Onishi created a wonderfully spacey interpretation of Pachelbel's Canon in D that features her Moog Aetherwave Pro and a Boss loop station. The whole song is nearly 10 minutes long, so it's not really a good fit for my 30-minute podcast. Fortunately, she just created a single edit exclusively for this show. So here is Yoko Onishi with Canon in D. That was an exclusive single edit of Canon in D by Yoko Onishi. You can listen to the full-length track on her 2022 album All Theremin 2. It's also available to stream from her YouTube page. After this break, I'll visit with Ernesto Mendoza, so stay tuned. One of the first artists I played when I started the podcast almost 5 years ago was Mexico City multi-instrumentalist Ernesto Mendoza. He just released a new album with reworked versions of songs from his previous releases, so I talked with him a couple of weeks ago to find out all about it. Ernesto Mendoza, thank you so much for being on the Theremin 30 podcast. I've been playing your music on the show, so I'm glad to finally have the opportunity to visit with you.
Thank you, first of all, for the support you have been giving me, and second, I am very glad to be in your show.
I invited you to the show to talk about your new album called Theremin, but first I want to learn more about your musical background. How were you introduced to the theremin?
I discovered the theremin more or less in 1998. I was studying audio engineering course, and the teacher told us about the origins of electronic music. And then he spoke about the theremin, the ondas martenot, and all the old electronic instruments. So that's when I discovered the theremin, and I was fascinated by the magic of the instrument, the history and things like that. And I start to investigate by my own, and that's how I discovered the theremin in those days.
Now, do you play other instruments besides the theremin?
My main instrument is the bass.
Oh.
And I sing, and I play a little the keyboard and some guitar too.
I was curious about playing live versus recording. What inspired you to go to that next level and start making records?
It was a necessity of playing my own music, because at first I was playing just covers, different styles. I played classical music, some jazz standards, music of the Beatles, Mexican bolero, and so on. As a necessity to go further, I have in mind to create my own music, and in those days it's very important to have the music for the world, for the net world. So I decided to compose and record my own music, specifically for playing the theremin as the melodic voice.
Some of the tracks I've been playing on the show over the last year have you collaborating with musical partners, percussionists or synthesists. And I was curious if you have a preference between working with other musicians or doing solo work by yourself.
I like to do both. I love to collaborate with another musician as much as possible, and I love to record. I love to be in studio. I do have a small recording studio here at home, so I try to experiment, but to play live as a musical partner as much as I can. It is very important to me in order to promote the theremin in my country, and as a melodic voice capable to do different styles of music. I do like to play Latin American music, so I am open to do different kind of projects.
On your new album, some of the titles seem familiar. A lot of the songs were on your 2018 album called Cosmo, which actually I played in the very first episode of my podcast. Why did you decide to re-record these earlier songs?
Yeah, in fact, there are 3 different versions of the same music.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I decided to do another version in order to improve my theremin playing, you know.
Oh, okay.
I was not very satisfied with the 2 previous versions and the sound, so I decided during pandemic days to re-record and to work on a new version and improving my performance.
Besides your theremin performance, how are these songs different from the original versions?
In the first version, it sounds more like a demo. It was recorded in my small multi-track Porta studio. It sounds more like a demo, and it still have the same name, Theremin, because it was the mix of synthesizer and theremin. it was a physical version in a physical CD. And then I was not very happy with the results. So in 2018, my friend Oscar Rivero acted as a producer of the second version. It was called Cosmo, a different name, and with a different production. I only focus in keyboard performance and synthesizer performance and record the theremin, but Oscar was the producer. And then the third version was recorded in pandemic days. I decided to add different timbres, different sounds, and improving my theremin performance. So you can hear different sounds, different production, but it's the same music, but I think it's more like techno version.
Do you have a favorite song on the new album?
I have a favorite to perform live because it was the first song I did, that is Synesthesia. This is the first song I ever create for the theremin. So I think I have a special love for this song, but I love them all.
What was the biggest challenge for you in creating the new album, especially considering that this was done during the pandemic lockdown?
The big challenge was trying to sound a little different to the previous recordings. I had in mind to create something that I can reproduce live, trying to figure out how can I playing live in order to sound more or less the same that in the production.
I really like the bass synthesizer lines in this new album. Are those being made with the actual keyboard synthesizer, or is it something you're doing in software on your computer?
There are both. There are virtual instruments and live instruments. As an example, I use Reason program to choose the beat to construct the skeleton of the piece. And then I add hardware synthesizers. I use Novation synthesizer, the Korg MS-20 Mini.
Oh, cool.
And I use the bass pedal Taurus, Moog Taurus.
Oh, you have a Taurus.
Yes.
I'm jealous.
Yes, I just love the instrument because my influence in this kind of music and in general is the progressive rock music. So I am a big fan of, Geddy Lee and Greg Lake and those music.
Chris Squire.
Of course, Chris Squire. And I just wanted to make a small rendition to my bass heroes, this kind of sounds with the bass pedal. And I use the Moog Prodigy synthesizer and obviously my theremin.
Now, you mentioned performing this music live. I imagine it's pretty difficult to play, so how do you adapt it to a live performance?
This is a real challenge, and I am very glad to do this work because it's not only to perform the theremin live, but also adding some more attractive and play the keyboards too. So the first thing was to arrange the live setup with the theremin and a combination of the synthesizers and how I can set my equipment in order to play with a good level of proficiency, because playing the theremin is very difficult. Playing the theremin well in tune and with a good performance, even more if you add the synthesizers, it's another challenge. So with a lot of practice, doing everyday rehearsals and adding the basic tracks for accompaniment.
Oh, so you don't use a live band to back you up then?
I have been using Music Guest as another keyboard or maybe a drummer or a guitar player, but most of the time I prefer to play by myself with my basic tracks and my theremin and a bass pedal and the theremin.
Thank you so much for the time you've taken to visit with me, and congratulations on the release of the new album. I look forward to more music from you to play on the show.
Sure. Thank you very much, Rick. It was a real pleasure to be with you.
You can listen to Theremin, music for theremin and synthesizer, now on most streaming services, including iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Deezer. Let's finish the show now with a full track from the new album. Here is Ernesto Mendoza with Cinta de Mobius, or Mobius Strip. I want to wrap up by thanking Charlotte Dubois and Black Adopo, Tremor Nokta, Yoko Onishi, and Ernesto Mendoza for sharing their music with us. Also, thanks to Ernesto for allowing me to interview him. And a big thank you goes out to the listeners who support this show with small one-time or monthly donations or by shopping in the Theremin 30 Pro Shop and merch store on the website. I'll be back soon with another episode of the Theremin 30 podcast as we start Season 6. Thanks to all of you who have been with me from the beginning, and I hope you will continue to go along with me for the ride.
You've been listening to the Theremin 30 podcast. Visit Theremin 30 on the web at theremin30.com.